Hello students, welcome to ETIS PCS. Today we are taking a very important topic with regard to international relations, that is US, SEC and the Hague Convention. Why we have taken this topic? Because the US Security and Exchange Commission has requested the Union Law Ministry support as per the Hague Convention to deliver summon to Gautam Adani under the security investigation fraud. So, if you are reading the current affairs from the past 5 to 6 months, there was an allegation against our business tycoon Gautam Adani that he has bribed government officials in India in order to take solar projects, which is beneficial for its business growth. So now US Security and Exchange Commission is looking for this thing, so that is why it is in news. Now look, one thing you must know, okay, when any Indian nationalist is living in India's territory and the Supreme Court, High Court or subordinate court wants to summon it, it can directly do it. But since US Security Commission is SEC is summoning Gautam Adani for the security fraud case, there should be some parameters, okay, how summon should be made, and these parameters should be as per the Hague Convention. So that is why Hague Convention becomes important. Now the Hague Service Convention, the full title of the Hague Service Convention is named as Convention on the Service Abroad of Judicial and Extrajudicial Documents in Civil or Commercial Matters. So this is important. The another name of Hague Service Convention is this, that is Service Abroad of Judicial and Extrajudicial Documents in Civil or Commercial Matters. Now what is the purpose? The treaty is designed to standardize the procedures for serving legal documents internationally. So the purpose of the Hague Service Convention is that there should be certain standards as well as there should be certain procedures involved that legal documents can be served internationally, as in case of Gautam Adani. What is the objective? The objective of the Hague Service Convention is to simplify as well as streamline the process of serving legal documents across borders in civil or commercial matters. So 2 or 3 things you must know. First, about Hague Service Convention, that the full title is Convention on the Service Abroad of Judicial and Extrajudicial Documents in Civil or Commercial Matters, and the purpose is that legal documents at the international level should be standardized. Third, it should be simplified as well as streamlined in order to smoothen the legal process across the borders in context of civil or commercial matters. Now, so what are the key aspects of Hague Service Convention? First, establishment and purpose. So it was established in the year 1961, and as we have already discussed, the convention aims to standardize the process of serving judicial and extrajudicial documents internationally. What is the objective? The serving of judicial and extrajudicial documents should be streamlined in a more effective manner, and to ensure that defendants in foreign jurisdictions receive timely and effective notice of legal action. So the purpose is that now Gautam Adani is living or residing where? In India, and USCC wants to summon Gautam Adani for the security fraud case. So that they can do through the Hague Convention. Why through the Hague Convention? Because India is a part of it, because India has signed it. So what is the central authority? There must be a central authority for receiving and managing service requests. So under Hague Convention there should be one central authority, and India's central authority is what? Union Law Ministry. That is why they have summoned Union Law Ministry also. So what are the signatories? The convention has been ratified by 84 countries including India and the United States. Now one thing very important with regard to Hague Service Convention, it will be applicable only when both the sending and receiving nations are signatories. So let's say if someone is sending a request or summon to other country and the receiving nation is not a part of it, then it will not be applicable. So both the sending as well as the receiving nation should be signatory. As in this case, India is also a signatory as well as what? USA is also a signatory. Now what are the methods of transmission? So the primary method is through what? Appointed central authority, and in context of India's appointed central authority is union law ministry. Primary method is this. Other alternative methods can also be used, that is through diplomatic or consular service. If you want to summon an Indian nationalist from foreign jurisdiction, then this method can also be used. Postal service wherever it is allowed, directly service by judicial officers, direct communication between government authorities. So these are the mode of transmissions under it, right? Now what is the service of process in India? Now it is important. So as I have already told you, India is a part. India signed it in 2006. India explicitly rejects all alternative methods of service. India now, there is one primary method and these are alternative methods. India accept this thing only. Okay, if you want to summon our nationalist, you can summon only through the central authority. These method does not apply in case of India. So that is very, very important. So that is what is read. India explicitly rejects all alternate methods of service outlined in Article 10, including the postal service. Now, service to central authority. Now, who is the central authority in case of India? That is Ministry of Law and Justice, which serves as India's central authority. All service request, now it must be submitted in English or accompanied by an English translation. So if someone wants to send a service request also, the only mode of language should be what? English, right? Now discretion of central authority. Now in context of India, who is the central authority? Ministry of Law and Justice. So the central authority has the discretion to refuse a service request under Article 13 if it poses a threat to our sovereignty or security. So now there are two things. One is what? Our nationalist, or you can say sovereignty. Other is what? Internationally. So the thing is what? If the central authority, in that case Ministry of Law and Justice, thinks that this service request is violating our sovereignty or it is against the sense of security, then it can be what? It has the discretion to refuse a service request. Second, however, it cannot refuse a service request solely based on claims of exclusive jurisdiction. Now two things are important here. India, or you can say our Ministry of Law and Justice, cannot say that it is our exclusive jurisdiction, it is in our territory. If it is in our territory, then it is our rights, it is our sovereignty. This is not the thing. So if the service request is violating the sovereignty or security, then it has the discretion. Otherwise it has to what? It has to comply with the directions given by the foreign authorities. Now what is the service duration and legal status? So now America has made an request, US SEC, under the Hague Convention. So the duration of the service process is between 6 to 8 months. And the service is regarded as an Indian court summon. So just like the Indian court will summon to our nationalist inside the country, it is treated like that in accordance with section 29C of the Code of Civil Procedure 1908. Now judicial precedents regarding alternative service methods. So already I have told you that the primary method, if someone wants to summon Indian nationalist from foreign jurisdiction, then the only primary method is what? Central authority. These methods doesn't apply in case of Mendi. But there are certain cases regarding the alternative service methods. First is Federal Trade Commission versus PCCR 247 INC 2013 US case. So this case allowed service in India through Facebook and email. So what this case suggested, that any service request in India can be sent through Facebook or through email also. So it was contended that these methods were not directly contested under Article 10 of the Hague Service Convention, as Hague Service Convention doesn't prescribe the medium of what? Social media or internet also. So in this case that was the verdict. Now second case was Punjab National Bank International Limited versus Boris Shipping Limited and others in 2019 UK. So the ruling dismissed the use of alternative service methods. So here, as per India's compliance, this ruling dismissed the use of alternative service method. It emphasized that service must adhere to India's prescribed procedures as outlined in the Hague Service Convention. So जो इंडिया में प्रोसीजर चल रहा है, इंडिया का जो प्रिस्क्राइब्ड प्रोसीजर है उससे ही एडहेयर करके चलना पड़ेगा. न्यू अल्टरनेटिव मेथड्स कैनॉट बी डिराइव्ड और अल्टरनेटिव सर्विस मेथड्स कैनॉट बी देयर. थर्ड केस वाज रिलेटेड टू रॉकफेलर टेक्नोलॉजी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स वर्सेस Changsho Sinotype Technology Company in 2020 US. Now this court ruled that service method agreed upon in a contract can take precedence over a state's objection under Article 10 of the Hague Service Convention. Now let's say if there is a company with regard to India and B company regard to US, if they have made certain contract, service method agreed upon in a contract certain thing has been agreed, then it can take precedence, it has more weightage over states objections under Article 10 of the Hague Convention. Now one thing very important under it, this can be asked in your examination also, that is default judgments under the Hague Service Convention. So what is a default judgment under the Hague Service Convention? When a foreign government fails to cooperate in the service of summon to a defendant located within a jurisdiction. So that is why it is in news. So default judgment here denotes, now under Hague Convention Gautam Adani has been summoned. So it is the responsibility of the Indian government to take these summon into equation through central authority. Who is the central authority? Union Ministry of Law and Justice. So when a foreign government fails to cooperate in the service of summon to a defendant located within its jurisdiction. So if now Gautam Adani is there in India, and if the Indian government is not taking any action or not taking or not cooperating with the summon procedure, then that thing is known as what? Default judgment. So what is the condition of default judgment? So default judgment comes under Article 15 of the convention. Okay, the document was transmitted by a method sanctioned by the convention. Minimum of 6 months has passed without confirmation of a service. So if 6 months has elapsed, then it can be considered as a default judgment. Third, the court concludes that all reasonable efforts have been made to secure proof of service. So the court says that all efforts have been made, that proof of service has been there. So these are the three conditions with regard to default judgment. So what is default judgment? Okay, when any foreign government failed to cooperate in the service of someone located within its jurisdiction, and three things are important. First is the document should be transmitted by a method sanctioned by the government. Second, 6 months has elapsed. Third is all reasonable efforts have been made in order to secure the proof of service. Now India's stance. What is India's stance on default judgment? India permits default judgment even in the absence of a service certificate provided by the condition of Article 15 are satisfied. So India permits that. India respects the context of default judgment even if service certificate is not provided. Service certificate is not provided, India accepts. If these things have been made, India is liable to take action against its own nationalists. So what is Article 15? First is it should be transmitted by a method. Second, 6 months have elapsed, minimum 6 months. And third, all reasonable efforts have been made. And even if any country is not providing a service certificate also, then India permits the concept of default judgment. Now Duong versus DDG BIM Services LLC 2023 US case. In this case, US court recognized Article 15 as a safeguard. Okay, it can be used as a safeguard. It allowed default judgments when India's central authority did not effectively handle service request. So India has to accept it. Okay, it allowed a default judgment. About it. So that was a very important topic with regard to your upcoming Punjab PCS prelims as well as UPSC. Hope you have understood the topic. Thank you for watching the video and do share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.